What's going on, guys? So with this recent cool front that came through, obviously I'm dressed in not too cold today, wearing a windbreaker. Got some beanie action going on. We're looking at highs in the 40s most of the week. It's been amazing so far today. Lows in the 20s and such. There's actually snow forecasted in a few nights from now. So it got me thinking, what's some good warm and cozy fragrances for this colder weather? I've got 10 of my personal favorites that I've picked out that are also 10 of my wife's personal favorites. I want to talk to you about them, so stay tuned. Starting with probably at this point, my favorite Azzaro fragrance. It runs a close race with Pour Homme Intense, but we're talking about the most wanted from Azzaro. That's right, not the Parfum, the black bottle. Love, 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 love this fragrance. It's my favorite version of Wanted. So sweet, nice and warm and cozy, spiced, like a little bit of a cardamom type of feel. I don't remember if that's the spicy note, but it kind of smells like cardamom. There's this nice toffee note. It's got a warm, ambery type of feel to the fragrance. Just warm, spicy, and sweet. It's that simple. Performance is fantastic. I smell it still floating around in the air. This is just such a lovely fragrance, absolutely sample worthy. This is a puller in close type of scent profile, more so in my experience than Wanted by Night ever was, which that's known for having that effect. I feel like the Most Wanted is kind of the ultimate version in many ways. Nothing wrong with the Parfum. I do like the Parfum. I just slightly prefer this one over the Most Wanted Parfum, but if you're looking for that warm and cozy fragrance on the designer level, something that's not too serious, but not too playful either, I want to check this out. It's Azzaro, the Most Wanted. Next, this is the best vanilla fragrance ever, in my opinion, of course. You may feel differently, but warm, ambery, boozy type of feel from the benzoin, just a little bit because it's so bright at the top, but it's warm and spicy and sweet. It's Nishane Ani. This is such a magnificent fragrance. I love this stuff. It is so good. I'm trying to get it to focus for you guys. There it is. Beautiful black and gold. This juice. Oh man, this juice. Intoxicating is an understatement. It smells so good. Wife's a huge fan too. Like I said, benzoin. It doesn't come across too vanillic of a benzoin. It's got more of this boozy and ambery type of feel, but still bright. The spice isn't overdone here, but it's still a very, very cozy fragrance because there's a lot of warmth here. It's this strong, warm, ambery type of feel to it. Absolutely astonishingly good. Like it still takes my breath away every time I smell it. Even from the very first time I sprayed this fragrance, I was absolutely head over heels in love. Same thing goes with my wife. She loves when I wear this. She's told me before, you need to wear this one more. Why I don't wear it more, I don't know. I think I just have too many fragrances is the problem, because this is one of the best in my collection. This is one of my favorites, and it absolutely is extremely warm and cozy and great for the cooler weather. It's Nishane Ani. To be honest with you, this next one's kind of cliched at this point, but it's undeniable. It's Viktor and Rolf's Spicebomb Extreme. I mean, you want warm and cozy for the colder weather. You can't go wrong here. When I was compiling this list, I sprayed this one on my arm. I think it was like 2 days ago I gathered these fragrances when I had this video idea, because I saw the weather upcoming and I wanted to wait till I was in the moment to shoot this video. God, this smells so good. Tobacco, black pepper, vanilla. Most dominant things you're going to get. Earthy, but not too earthy. More smooth, a little creamy because of the vanilla, but a heavy dose of black pepper. You get plenty of warm, cozy spiciness to this fragrance. Performance is absolutely fantastic. It's a compliment magnet. There's very few people I've ever come across online that have had something bad to say about this fragrance. I know not everybody likes everything, and not everybody likes this fragrance, but the overall consensus is just how amazing this one is. It's gotten a ton of hype over the years for great reason, because it's a phenomenal fragrance for the colder weather. If you're looking for warm and cozy, look no further. Like I said, it's cliched, honestly, at this point to feature this, but it's undeniable how well it suits this video topic. They don't get much more warm, cozy, and inviting than Viktor and Rolf's Spicebomb Extreme. This fragrance is more of a guilty pleasure because it's crazy how intoxicating and inviting this fragrance is when you consider some of the notes like black currant for your main tart fruitiness. There's an herbal cannabis note. It's a little ambery. There's some spiciness to this. It is from Micallef, This is Desir Toxic. Desir Toxic, man, I don't even know how to describe this to put the right words in place to tell you how good it is. The black currant's just got such a fruity pop to it, but keeps it grounded because it's a little bit on the bitter side. It's a bitter note, bitter fruity note. And the cannabis here, you will get a little bit of a marijuana smell, and I mean faint. It's more earthy and herbaceous of a cannabis note, like an undried leaf. Don't think bag of marijuana, think actual marijuana plant, the actual leaf. And there's a little bit of a smoky tone to it. Could be from that. I don't remember the notes exactly. Does have a bit of a warm and ambery feel once again, but a nice dose of spice here that's a little bit fresh and spicy, but there's also a nice warmth kind of surrounding the entire fragrance. Like that freshness in the top does start to fade, and it becomes much more warm and cozy overall. Performance isn't ridiculous as far as projection. The sillage is the magic for this one. It's not going to really reach out far to grab somebody, but within a reasonable range and a more intimate setting and situation, this will definitely lure and allure your significant other to want to be a lot closer to you. Very warm, very cozy, very unique in my experience. It's beautiful. It's Desir Toxic. This is still my favorite version of Armani Code. Yes, I have smelled Armani Code Parfum just once, so I can't really judge it based off of that. But when it comes to Armani Code Profumo, you know, I've always been a huge advocate for this particular fragrance. It almost smells like a powder-covered chocolatey donut type of smell. Even though it's tonka and leather, it's just so beautiful. It's warm, it's sweet. There's a touch of spice, not a very spicy fragrance, but very warm overall. A lot of leather here. Soft leather. Not rough and tumble, not animalic and edgy. Very smooth, very inviting, very compliment-getting type of scent profile. This stuff is delicious and delectable without being a gourmand. It's not really a gourmand fragrance. There's a little bit of gourmand facet from the sweetness to the tonka bean, which is kind of the signature for the Armani Code DNA. It is a little on the powdery side. If you're not a fan of sweet and powdery, you may not like this one. But I can tell you for myself and my wife, the way we feel about this one, big fans. It's not one that I wear all the time, but when I get in the mood, especially in the colder months, especially winter time, because it's just so damn cozy and inviting, I like to roll with this one. Try it if you haven't. Armani Code Profumo. Hyped, polarizing, very effective for this video topic. We're talking Parfums de Marly Layton. I'm a big fan of this fragrance. Have been for a long time. I love this stuff. You get that menthol Vicks Vapor Rub type of smell in the top, which I actually find attractive. A little bit of fruitiness from some apple. A lot of spice. I believe it's cardamom that's in here. Maybe a little bit of pepper as well. It's warm and spicy. It's got a beautiful vanilla note to provide some underlying creamy tone of sweetness. There's a little bit of woods here, but it's more so sweet and very spicy. I would say more on the very spicy side than the very sweet side, because this cardamom kind of peppery type of smell really stands out. The geranium here is what provides that minty menthol type of feel, and it's more of a creamy jelly like. That's why I say Vicks Vapor Rub. Thick menthol smell at the top. Can be a little off-putting for some, but I'll tell you what, out in the air, this is magnificent. This is such a unique DNA. This is copied. This isn't really copying anything as far as my knowledge is concerned. I don't think this was copying anything, and it's an original DNA. Big fan. Mass appealing type of brand overall with Parfums de Marly. Nothing too complex and challenging. This is more of a mass appealing niche brand, and this is definitely mass appealing while still maintaining some uniqueness. Performance is fantastic in my experience. The quality is really good here without being top tier, but definitely not on the designer level, at least not this particular fragrance. This is absolutely one of the ones that you really should sample from the brand. It's one of the poster children for Parfums de Marly because it's so popular, and in my opinion, it's popular for really good reason. Definitely warm, cozy, and inviting. Just a beautiful scent profile. This is Layton. One that I've had for a long time that this fall and winter I'm starting to go back to more. Wife's a big fan of this one. I still think it's one of the better fragrances for single guys out there because it has that kind of edgy, bad boy, if you will, appeal to it. It's boozy and sweet. It's spicy. It's CH Men Prive. This stuff is such a good scent. It really is. On the synthetic side, yeah, absolutely. And I mean, I might as well do it while we're in the video talking about it. There's a little bit of a leathery feel here in the backdrop, but not until it really starts to dry down. But in the top, you're going to get this bright, boozy, whiskey type of smell. There's a little bit of sweetness. It's not overly sweet. For some, if you're not the type that likes sweet in a men's fragrance, then yeah, this is probably very sweet to you. To me, not so much. I got tons of fragrances that are sweeter than this, but it's that whiskey note that I think is really giving that sweetness in the top. I don't remember the notes exactly, but there is a nice spicy tone here. Of course, there's some notes that kind of create this ambery accord to warm the fragrance up without it being an overly spicy fragrance, to warm it up in that aspect. And like I said, the leather does kind of take over here. It's a very smooth leather. This is a nice bomber jacket type of fragrance if you're not out on the prowl at a bar, which obviously this is an ideal fragrance for that. That's what I was saying. Its reputation kind of suits it. It precedes it in many ways. This fragrance, for those of you that are taken, such as myself, and not out there looking for women, this is one that goes great with a bomber jacket. This is definitely going to make your lady want to stay close to you, stay on your arm, hold hands, whatever, and be close, because it's very cozy, it's very inviting, it's a very sexy scent profile. It's Carolina Herrera, CH Men Prive. Even though it runs a close race with another flanker in this line, I can't really decide which one's my favorite. If I'm looking for cozy and inviting, warming overall, when it comes to the Boss the Scent line, I'm going with Boss the Scent Absolute. If I get it to focus, that would be just fantastic. There we go. Boss the Scent Absolute is a 3-note note breakdown. The Meninka, the way it's done here, it still has that sweet fruity tone, but more of a sweet fruity boozy type of tone. It's much more warm and spicy. So good, so good. Performance is great as far as longevity. Projection, not super heavy. Heavy enough, arm's reach type of stuff. Pretty good sillage. This is another one that's kind of a puller in close type of fragrance, as are every fragrance in this video. That's the name of the game with this particular topic. But if you're looking for the most cozy, inviting, and alluring of the Boss the Scent line, in my opinion, this is the way to go. Yes, Private Accord has a lot more gourmand facets to it. It's a great kind of fun daytime fragrance and evening fragrance in many ways too, because of the chocolatey note, because of the coffee. It's, like I said, it's got some gourmand facets to it. It's a gorgeous fragrance in its own right. That's why I say I go back and forth between this one and that one on which is my favorite. But for evening situations, it's nice and crisp and cool outside. You're going to have a nice jacket on. Maybe you're going to dinner with your lady and you're going to be sitting in a nice little two-top table at whatever restaurant. It's going to be a close quarters type of thing. And you want that just seductive scent profile that's going to want her to come in closer. Something like this will definitely do the trick. Again, that's Boss the Scent Absolute. Now, this particular fragrance doesn't really get any love. I do feature it from time to time on this channel, especially with these types of topics. It fits it so well. It's such a unique take on La Nuit de l'Homme. It is YSL's La Nuit de l'Homme L'Intense. So you do get a little bit of that La Nuit de l'Homme DNA, a little bit of that cardamom spiciness. You will smell it. But it's more so about violet and iris, a very lipsticky, earthy tone. Earthy floral, for sure. Lipsticky, powdery, floral, sweet, very spicy at one point. But it kind of fades, it fleets. You don't get a ton of the spice. Soft, I believe it's labdanum is in here. I could be wrong because they have a little bit of a leathery feel to it. I want to say that's what's in there. Very cozy and inviting, very unique, very confidence-inspiring fragrance. And when I say that, it's because if you're going to spray this one on, you got to have a big smile on your face and present really well and just carry yourself with confidence, because this is on the more feminine side. Though clearly marketed as a men's fragrance, it is very floral. It is very waxy, lipsticky, and powdery. Does not smell exactly like any of the Dior own line, but you can thank some of that waxy, powdery iris mixed with this earthy violet leaf, not violet leaf, but violet tone. This is a magnificent fragrance. Myself, and definitely my wife, big fan of this. Super criminally underrated fragrance. This is, in some ways, my favorite flanker. Even though the Le Parfum is the one I wear the most, I'm much more situational with this one. I seldom wear this. It's only certain situations when we're going out to dinner, we're having maybe a night out at a hotel, or any of these things where it's kind of a special evening, if you will. This is one that definitely gets my wife going. She's a huge fan of this, and if you like florals, you should try this. La Nuit de l'Homme, L'Intense. Finally, any one of them will work. Well, not any one, I take that back, because Freeze and Only don't really fall into this, but absolutely intensely leather. I haven't tried Oud, but Stronger With You. All of them are great, warm and cozy. They stay true to this original DNA right here, the original Eau de Toilette. They stay true to this one. This one's so good, and look, I have decants of all the other ones except for Oud, the newest flanker. They're all great. Leather is my favorite. I think if I was going to get one more bottle, I'm going to get Stronger With You leather, but this one's just so good. It's got this dryness to it. It's ambery. It's very spicy. Much more on the spicy side than the Wanted line, for example, because this gets most closely related to a lot of the Wanted flankers. They kind of have a strong similarity. Here it's a lot more warm and spicy. This is probably the coziest fragrance in this video, to be honest with you, based on the way it reacts on my skin. Like I said, there's sweetness here. You're going to smell sweetness, but it's dry, warm, and spicy. That's the main accords that I get from this. The dryness comes as it dries down. I want to say it's like a chestnut note or something like that. That kind of dries everything out just a little bit. It doesn't have this thickness to the aroma, though it does wear on the heavy side. It is very bright. Performance is fantastic on this, especially for an Eau de Toilette. I believe it's an Eau de Toilette. Let's take a look. It is an Eau de Toilette, because this is like a 9-10 hour fragrance on my skin. This stuff performs great. It's a magical elixir. It really is. If you've never tried this line, any of the fragrances, this is the original DNA, the baseline DNA for this line. I think it's the best spot to start because you can appreciate all of the flankers more. This is one of those fragrances where if you start with the original, you will appreciate each flanker more because you're going to smell this in all of them. They are flankers done the right way. You will smell the Stronger With You DNA in each one of them. This is an amazing fragrance. Absolutely so inviting. Such a sexy, warm, and cozy fragrance. Great for cutting through the cold. It's Emporio Armani Stronger With You, the original. Well, that's the 10 that I have for you today. And until next time, do me a real quick favor. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, because I do appreciate all the feedback. I love hearing from you guys. What in this video have you tried before, and what do you think about them? What are some of the more warm and cozy and inviting fragrances that you like to wear in the colder weather? Obviously, this is not the only 10 for me. These are just the 10 main ones that I plan on wearing that I thought of for this topic with this cold front setting in. Because like I said, I waited a few days before I shot the video because I wanted to be in the moment, and that is what we're currently doing. And until next time, I will say if you get your hands on any of the 10 that I picked and featured in this video and you give them a spray now, I'm pretty confident that you'll thank me later. Have a good one, guys.